Well, surprise, no intro, but I figure, you know what? We need the extra time because I know Mark wants to do a bit of a victory lap and maybe gloat a little. There was a certain merger that went through, and he might be satisfied.
No, I want to. I forgot to mention Bill Mazeroski's passing to my Pirate fans. More importantly than any victory lap, Bill Mazeroski died this past week at 89, the greatest Pirate infielder of all time. As the Buckaroo people know, I don't want to neglect mentioning the passing of the great Bill Mazeroski, who hit the walk-off homer in Game 7 against the mighty Crankies, who also, I believe, had 1,700 double plays at second base as a second baseman, a record that may never be broken. Played his entire career for the Pirates, played the game the right way, and I just didn't want to let that go without acknowledging it. For the poor Buck fans whose owner keeps stealing their money and not investing in the team, and my heart goes out to them. So just a brief.
You're right. I found that shameful that you hadn't brought that up, and it was definitely a critical story.
No, I forgot. Absolutely.
I mean,
the passing of Mazeroski is a big deal. I mean, I was supposed to say something, and I forgot, so I'm doing it now.
All right, so now he can take a minute and gloat.
That's a separate story. Yeah. After the Mazeroski story, my favorite, sometimes the New York Post makes these incredible, iconic covers. And this one was a great New York Post iconic cover this morning. That's a keeper from the paper out here now. Or
no, it's the California Post. You got to give it the credit.
And it's going to take a while to say that. I think it's if they change the name of the New York Times to the California Times, it would still be the New York Times. But that being said,
the High Times,
I've written for. That was a different publication. The Rob Bonta, who is the esteemed PAC Attorney General of California, literally minutes after the announcement said he's going after them. As the Attorney General of the people of California, who have all kinds of other issues, Rob Bonta, the Attorney General of California, was responding to Mark, and I thought he was responding to me on Twitter. And because I have been, taunting this guy for a long time. So it says, "Hi, Mark," in the X feed, but it's to Mark Ruffalo, who's screaming that he has to indict Paramount for crimes against humanity and put a stop to the merger, I guess by forcing Netflix to keep upping their ante and upping their bids, even though they pulled the plug on their own deal. But that's not enough to Mark Ruffalo and Rob Bonta. They want to force Netflix to keep negotiating. Wow.
So Mark Ruffalo wants to make sure that he eliminates as much television and streaming content as possible for acting possibilities. It sounds like. Why don't you piss all over?
I'll explain it a little bit clearer. There is a schism out here between actors and actual people who make films like James Cameron and others who want to have theaters like Tarantino. Actors don't give a shit about theatrical. They want to be on as many different screens as possible. Hence, they are supporting Netflix because the streaming gives them more opportunities to work in general. The filmmakers, the Spielbergs, the Camerons, the Tarantinos, the producers, the studios who employ people at the ground level making big budget films are completely opposed, as are the unions, to the Netflix takeover of Warner Brothers. Only douchebag actors like Mark Ruffalo, who want to keep working in any medium of streaming, have been the supporters of this merger. Just to explain the fight within Hollywood for people.
Well, what about the crews? Where do they stand?
The crews are in favor of Warner Brothers being taken over by Paramount. Okay. Because the theatrical, do you understand? See, if Netflix would have won this thing, month by month, the theaters would have physically been closing. There would be no comeback for the theaters themselves, because Netflix only puts films in the theaters for 2 weeks. They pay to four-wall them for Academy Award considerations. So there would be an amazing reduction by Warner Brothers and Netflix of theatrical releases. Everybody saw the handwriting on the wall about that. And then the others would follow suit. The theaters would close, never to be reopened again. That would be the, after a year or two or three or four of this, the physical theaters would close. The financial model would end, where the theater owners get 50% of the box office, by the way, for people who don't know. And that's how they survive. That being said, the unions quickly saw this and sided with Trump, sided with their own arch enemies at Paramount, which is the Paramount Skydance, to be victorious in overtaking Netflix in this thing. As Mark Halpern pointed out this morning, 95% of the business community said this was impossible. How inaccurate this was breathtaking. That there was unending opportunity here for Netflix could not be denied in taking over Warner Brothers. It's just astonishing how consistently wrong they are and how they continue to keep their jobs in various pundit fields, not just this one. This was a no-brainer to me from day one, and I'm not a business pundit by any stretch of the imagination. I knew what side the unions were on. I knew what side the studios were on for this. It's just, and then inch by inch, they came out. You had Susan Rice. You want to talk about crazy, Eric? Mm-hmm. The former national security advisor who's on the board of Netflix, replacing the Obamas, by the way. That's the stranglehold that the Obamas have on Netflix. Ted Sarandos married a chick named Nicole Avant. Nicole Avant's father, with Berry Gordy, ran Motown. She got him to leave his wife and kids, marry her, and take his money and become the largest bundler of campaign funds for Obama of any man in America. She was then awarded, I'm just going down memory lane here.
Yeah, no.
Then awarded the ambassadorship to the Bahamas. She had to be physically removed because she turned it into a party headquarters for herself and her friends. And the State Department told Obama, either she goes or we go. That's the wife of Ted Sarandos, okay? That's how deeply into the leftist Democratic Party Netflix is. And with that, the threat by Rice this past week saying it's going to be retribution, we're going to get you, people who helped Trump, was just beyond the beyond. Ted Sarandos at the last minute tried to go to Mar-a-Lago.
That was my question. He was headed and supposedly seeing Trump, and the announcement was not long after that. So do you think Trump had a little conversation with him saying, yeah.
Apparently it was a last minute Hail Mary on the part of Ted Sarandos, but this train had left the station and they outbid them and blah, blah, blah. Once you go, and we were talking about this on the Movie Network yesterday, once you get the federal regulators on your back, the deal is essentially done because they could hold it up for a decade. So now you've got stockholders who don't want their profits frozen for a decade or 5 years, Eric, by the federal government looking into a merger that they don't approve. Once they came out and said this from the Trump administration, this deal was essentially done, finished. And now Barry Weiss will end up running CNN by the summer, I predict.
That was the fun part on that. I'm trying to look up the price here, but
was it 31?
Well, yeah, it was ultimately $111 billion. I think it was 30 something a share, but what I was trying to look up, and it just takes time to pull it together, is I think that Elon Musk paid more for Twitter out of his pocket than somebody paid for Warner Brothers, which to me, and maybe I'm dumb, but it shows how truly big or not big the whole industry is in terms of that. If a social media company, the worst one, the one that was dying on the vine, that was struggling, all that, could be bought for more money out of an individual's pocket, I think that's a very telling statistic.
Well, these are massive upheavals because these are conservative companies taking over the story is these are conservative entities taking over these far left entities. Whether it's the lawsuit that he filed against CBS and 60 Minutes Trump, leading to the takeover by Barry Weiss, the Ellison friendship that he has with both the father and the son. All of his suit against the BBC is going to end up, I believe, leading to the same situation. His lawsuits against these companies have led to these bending of the knees in terms of these massive leftist media organizations. Probably the greatest thing to come out of the entire Trump era are these takedowns of these massive media corporations that are 24/7 railing against him and his administration. They are pure propaganda entities. Now they're crying and screaming and having tantrums like babies at the Washington Post, which apparently lost $100 million in revenue last year alone, according to Jeff Bezos. But he should continue to lose $100 million to employ them. In their fantasy socialist economy, Jeff Bezos should be forced to lose $100 million. Yeah, I mean, it's just,
he has it.
Right, he has it. Well, why shouldn't he lose it? I mean, their logic, their insane logic.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, he stole it anyway. And I mean, their logic is so crazy that a 13-year-old couldn't agree with it.
No, I agree. And by the way, I did look it up. I was incorrect. Twitter was $44 billion, much less money. But
yeah, I figured. Yeah,
a lot of it.
But there's so many assets here, including the library of Warner Brothers, which is kind of invaluable because it's so evergreen. And then also these CNN, whatever CNN is worth as a brand, is just to take them off the fucking playing field.
Well, they're in every airport. Think about that for a second. You know, see, that's part of the lock-in with CNN. They never make any money, but every airport, it's in every freaking terminal. So
that's controllable by the federal government. Why Trump allows that to happen? That airport government deal is controllable by the federal government, who controls through the transportation department. I have no idea why they perpetuate that situation.
But I agree with you about the importance of this because, in fairness, this lasts far longer than Trump. This is a cultural shift.
Yep.
I keep quoting, Andrew Breitbart over and over to death that politics is downstream of culture. And Trump has come in this time and gone full tilt in every way he could to go after culture first. And I think that's been a very important thing. And these changes take a lot longer to turn around or to screw over than a quick, executive order.
Well, I mean, just think about the cultural aspects of the Warner Brothers films that are now going to be in development once David Ellison gets in there. I mean, the benefits of this are endless. They're endless. The development of pipeline, CNN, the monetary combination of Paramount and Warner Brothers together. I mean, the fight against the Chinese in terms of them usurping Hollywood's film power. I mean, there's so many storylines from this deal. It could be, episode by itself.
Also, now, because I'm selfish, thinking about me, I've been waiting for consolidation of these streaming services. This is a major consolidation because HBO is a crown jewel in this mix, and that is kind of the elite or the prestige package of streaming services. You roll that with Paramount, etc. I'm hoping that more rolls into it. And again, there was a time, I don't know, it was kind of charming that you only had Netflix, and then it was like Netflix and Prime Video, and now it's like 20 things. This hopefully can start
their stock is going to drop now. You're right. The Netflix stock is going to go down because they look like Mama Luke's. The power of Warner Brothers. By the way, Paramount Plus, for those at home, it's one of the best streaming services going in terms of content. I've been using it without ads for a while, and it's got a big library equal to HBO's. So you're going to see that expansion too.
Well, and they also have all the Sheridan stuff. Taylor Sheridan is locked in with them, so a lot of new stuff. The
that's what I mean.
Kings and whatever is on there as well. So that'll be interesting. I look forward to the a little bit of the consolidation. I don't want too much.
Well, I'm sure they'll consult with you, but the point of the matter is,
I'm waiting. Mark, I'm busy. I got a call here.
The point of the matter was, I mean, I was mocked for this, but it wasn't even a stretch for me to say this was never going to happen. There's some things that that are so obvious and so silly, and this was one of them. The idea that this would go through just seemed preposterous to me, based on what I know, and I don't know anything.
Well, I didn't know either way because I don't know the industry.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to rule it out though, and it's nothing to do with the industry in that. It's freaking Larry Ellison. And
yeah,
Larry
they also
Ellison
might have gone on
psycho pit bull.
They were also threatening
something.
Right. They were threatening to strike, and there was just a lot of ripple effect that behind the scenes that regular people didn't know about from the unions.
Well, fair enough.
Odd that they'd end up in bed with Trump, but it's kind of weird that they look. I mean, there's all kinds of strange bedfellows today.
Well, I mean, okay, but some of that's breaking because there's a story that broke beforehand, and remember that Trump, they all hated Trump, and the first people to tilt were Silicon Valley. Larry Ellison is adjacent to Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And really, I think that, in combination with Musk buying Twitter and changing the paradigm there, Silicon Valley suddenly flipping for Trump. Now, there's some pushback there because I don't know if you saw, I mean, this is literally breaking the past couple hours. Trump released a truth. Anthropic is in his sight line right now. He has said that Anthropic, and that's Claude, if people want to know the AI, it's the alternative company to OpenAI. And Trump has gone full tilt on them, and he's saying he wants Anthropic removed from every government computer, every single institution. No, I mean it's a scorched earth truth that Hegseth had sent out, and it's going to be interesting. And I'm not sure which way I fall on that, because if what Anthropic said is accurate, then I may not like it. If it's just Trump, anyway, I need to know more information. But the claims are that Anthropic said, no, you can't use the software for supposedly two things, and that's monitoring of American citizens for the government, and second, to arm missiles to harm people. The missile one, I'm more in support of the government on to a degree. The surveillance aspect, I'm a little hesitant on, so I'm not going to completely decide. It does remind me a little of a few years back. I don't know if you remember when Apple told the FBI to go F themselves when they said, hey, crack the iPhone because of the San Bernardino shooting.
Well, that's a different story. This is a vendor telling the government what they can or cannot do with the product they're buying. The Apple FBI story was apples and oranges because they're not interrelated. This is a vendor saying, we want you to buy our product and we will tell you how to use it, Eric. I mean, that's why Trump is, I presume, gone scorched earth.
Which, you know what, but every vendor does have usage requirements and restrictions because it's a contract. And it depends on what the contract says. You know, it's like if you're buying it for what this is.
The government can find someone else.
Right. Well, apparently OpenAI already told them no.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. That's why I said I don't know which way I fall on that, because it's really early and I need to know all the details.
Okay.
So, but it is breaking news. It can't be comfortable for Anthropic. And honestly, I personally think that the whole AI is a bit of a bubble right now. And I'm going to say that and just keep watching. I think you're going to find one OpenAI, I think, is going to ultimately collapse, or it's going to get bought up or propped up some way or another. They are racing right now on $100 billion deficit right now on a spend, right? And they're scrambling to, I think, get themselves to be too big to fail. And I think there's a lot of that in the industry. It's like, okay, if everybody throws so much money into them, then they won't let them collapse. So I think that's the game. Meanwhile, Google already has the infrastructure and they can do just fine because they already have the data centers everywhere else. And they're starting to really put the lever down. So this is getting in the weeds, but it is interesting times in the AI front. But anyway, speaking of this and going and pivoting over to Elon, did you see the story from Kristi Noem when she was on PVD podcast?
I did not.
All right, let me go ahead and pull the clip of that. She made a claim, which is quite frightening, that she had to get assistance from Elon Musk's crew because her own people and
helped me identify that came into this office. It was, Elon and his team were extremely helpful to me. They helped me identify that some of my own employees in my department had downloaded software on my phone. And
names, please. Names, please.
To record our meetings.
Wow.
Names.
We had done that to several of the politicals.
Wow.
And so we ended up bringing in people, and that was something that if you didn't have those technology experts here in the department looking at all of our laptops and our phones and recognizing that kind of software, it would still be happening today.
What happened to the individual?
now you're right about the names, because that is one question I have. She's saying that they were terminated. She goes on.
Who are they? Yeah.
But I can see both sides of it, because remember, there was information being leaked about operations like crazy, and they were trying to figure out who the source was. Spyware could be involved. It may not be involved. I'm not sure on that. But I will say, if you did in fact catch people putting spyware on the phone, it shouldn't be a termination offense. That should be prosecutable.
Well, that's
because
the
they're now
equivalent to
talking about
Republicans.
government secrets, and if nobody's arrested, it does make me suspect her story.
I don't know what to say. That sounded highly suspect, the whole thing. I think she's full of shit. She's got to be fired herself. And I think she's halfway out the door anyway, that piece of shit. She's got to go. She's got to go. This is becoming an embarrassment to the administration, this woman.
Well, I mean, she's not my favorite, as I
I know.
said 57 million.
And tell us who did it. Just tell us who did it, Big Mouth. What's the matter? You signed a secrecy oath to protect criminals? Give me a fucking break. Tell us who did it, or shut the fuck up. I mean, it's ridiculous, Eric.
Right. And those people in the chat are saying, oh, AI isn't a bubble and all that. I'm not saying that AI has no value and no future. I'm saying it's a bubble, like the internet was a bubble around the 2000 time frame, and a lot of companies lost their asses. That didn't mean that the internet itself failed. I think we're on it right now. So please pay attention. I'm saying that a lot of companies are being propped up, not necessarily good, and they're going to feel it. Let me see. We've got, I don't know if you saw that Harmeet Dhillon, and this is another one that I question about. Harmeet Dhillon on Benny Johnson's show stated that Omar's citizenship is at risk. Now,
then do something and shut up. Let's go.
Again, thank you.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I am. Is I'm like,
shut up.
I'm
Who
getting
cares
to the
about
point where
not you. I'm saying,
oh yeah,
shut your mouth and do your job. Stop going on these shows and fucking doing this stuff. Do something. Eric and I are so tired of these people going on there and smearing people or whatever you're doing. If you got some, put up or shut up already. Right, Eric? I mean, come on.
Well, that's what I've been saying, because I'm like, there has been so much about Ilhan Omar, whatever her relationship, everything else, and nothing ever. She's up there during the State of the Union, just mouthing off whatever the hell she wants.
I meant to ask you about that. Isn't this disrupting? Isn't this what they're doing there, yelling and screaming in terms of this conduct in public in this thing? I know you're shrugging. I'm
shrugging because it'd be hypocritical to not acknowledge that Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other people did that shit to Biden.
Drag them out of there. Drag them out. I don't understand how they're allowed to do this. This is not a schoolyard. Drag their asses. And if it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's gone anyway from showbiz politics. These two are just howling and screaming the entire State of the Union. How is this allowed? And I don't think you have the right to free speech when you're invited into this event and you're disrupting it. I'm sorry. I don't understand. They rightfully took out Al Green with his crazy ape sign. I mean, how does he get removed with the ape sign? And these two nuts from hell are just screaming at the top of their lungs, Eric.
Well, in fairness, I'd say that he's a little bit infirm, and they were probably like, look, he's going to fall over if we don't take him out to get him some help. I mean,
Whatever. I mean, they've just got to remove these people for disrupting the event, just like anybody else would be removed for disrupting the event. They're scared of these two bitches and these other people. They're terrified of it. And why don't they admit they're terrified and scared of these women from Michigan with their things on their heads, instead of issuing statements that they're improper and acting out and everything else? Nobody gives a shit about your statements and letters anymore.
yeah, well, and I mean, one of them, the one next to her, I always forget her name, because I feel like there's levels of the squad, and when you look at the squad, it's like you have AOC and Ilhan Omar. We're kind of like the peak of the squad, kind of like
Right.
the leaders of the assholes. And then you have the other ones who are kind of like a revolving door. It's like, who are the also rans who are trying to suck up clout. But the one who was shouting KKK, I don't know if you saw that when it was.
Yeah, I did see it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Rashida Tlaib. Thank you.
Tlaib, yeah, she's the Palestinian supporter. She is a Palestinian. Remove them. What is so dramatic? What is so hard? You're coming with us for disrupting this event. I'm sorry, you want to sue the federal government? Knock yourselves out. But right now, you're being physically removed. If you can't, they want to sit there on their hands. Good. You could take the political repercussions. Trump has already cut wonderful commercials showing them sitting on their hands, Eric. I don't know if you've seen the brand.
Yeah. Well,
the brand
that
new
was a
commercial.
beautiful setup, which,
Yeah.
it was perfect, because he didn't just do it, and he didn't just say that, which now everybody does that all the time. He said, I'm going to do this.
Right.
Let's watch what they do. Then he did it. And then he just sat there. I think that was like almost a full minute
Yeah.
of just letting the Republicans cheer and just letting them sit there. And another perfect example, somebody captured it on a meme, but when he talked about the Ukrainian immigrant who got murdered, when you have literally the sleepy congressman there, who wouldn't stand up or anything, wearing a Ukraine pin. Keep that in mind. He loves the Ukraine, but not her.
Yeah.
Not her. Not the one who's a victim who moved here. Not her parents. Oh, screw them.
Who was just weeping, and mother was just.
Of course she was. I mean,
weeping up there, and I mean, nothing affects them. Let's put it that way. Nothing affects them.
Exactly. Which
nothing affects them.
An answer.
Their crocodile tears are always for show, and nothing ever emotionally affects them. They're cold-hearted cunts.
Yeah. Fair enough. Now you sent me this one. We'll shrink down from. Well, unless is there any more you want to go on with the State of the Union? That
No, I mean, unless you
or-
have something. I just think if you're disrupting it, you have to. It's just a thing. I don't know. If you're disrupting it, you have to be removed. I don't think that's a radical thing. I'm sorry. You could say, well, it's great to see them yelling and screaming. It makes them look bad. Not when you're trying to concentrate on a speech of that level of importance, to have them howling in the background. I'm sorry.
I agree. Now, overall, what did
It's
you
disrupting the peace. I don't know. A person in a movie theater, in a regular movie theater, who was standing up in the movie theater yelling and screaming, would be removed faster than these two bitches from the State of the Union address.
And that's kind of Mike Johnson. I mean, if you really want to get to it, he could have called.
Whoever
the police,
who calls
Capitol
the guy
Police, and remove. Well, no, the Speaker of the
Who
House.
calls the guy on Al Green? Somebody
Yeah.
pulled the plug on Al Green and decided not to pull the plug on these two maniacs. I'd like to know who did that, what their rational thought was on that. To have these women screaming like they're being slaughtered during the presidential address, it's a little much. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to get this. Sean Lucan, who has gifted a ton of memberships, has given a very generous super chat here, $50. Thank you very much, Sean. Great show, gentlemen. Happy Friday, everyone. I just thought I'd share early. Sean, thank you. Again, Sean donates a ton of memberships to people and is very, very supportive. this is very generous. I wanted to get that out early. Overall, did you like Trump's speech, his performance, etc.?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I mean, it was a little long, but let's face it.
Oh, it's historic.
It's historically long. But
Literally.
I mean, it was something that went on and on and on. But I don't care. I mean, this was the opening introduction to the midterm campaign by him. This is his opening gambit, and the reason he started it in February is encouraging, because I think he's going to start the re-election thing in February, right after this. He's going down to Texas. Cornyn's down there. Paxton, the third one. He's playing some apprentice game by not endorsing any of them at this point. I mean, you just got to throw down. I mean, come on. You just got to throw down for Paxton and get this over with. This guy Cornyn has stabbed him in the back, has stabbed the state of Texas in the back so many fucking times that Texas has pinholes in its back.
I think there's more to it, and I'll just tell you what I understand from a Texas resident that is part of the problem. Shockingly, Crockett is kicking Paxton's ass in terms of polling. And Paxton, while was great as Attorney General, has some really bad personal baggage going on right now. I don't know, but there is a factor.
Can't be close to what Cornyn has done to Trump. Cornyn is at the level of Thune and the level. How about endorsing Lindsey Graham again, Trump? Explain that one to me, Eric.
I'm not a fan of Lindsey Graham, but when has Lindsey Graham voted against Trump?
Never.
And I think I mean, it's kind of one of those ugly things, but Massey has screwed him over every turn and backstabbed him every which way. Lindsey is a mouthy little twit, but he always is in line and he's lockstep. So I don't know if that's the case of Cornyn ultimately, if he's going to vote with Trump, but if he could lose the damn seat, if he goes with Paxton, there is some strategy involved, and I will give it to him. Even if you like the person better, if he's going to lose, it's kind of like Carrie Lake. Hey, Carrie Lake's great, except she kept losing.
She kept losing because they kept stealing the elections from her. That's why she kept losing.
Well,
let's be frank about it. Let's be frank about it.
But
I mean, we have to put up with Murkowski and Collins. Based on your analogy, it applies much more to those two.
Well, I would argue Collins, Murkowski has rigged the system in Alaska with the runoff bit that they just can't seem to get rid of her. Collins, I 100% agree with you on that, because that is pretty much, if you didn't have her, you're going to have a hardcore liberal Democrat. The
reason I mention that is because I don't believe the same scenario holds true in the great state of Texas. Texas is not Maine. That's why I'm bringing up.
But the candidates who are here are what I'm talking about. So unless I'm completely off, or I've been misinformed completely, and Paxton is perfect and he's going to win.
You believe that this person, not you, but somebody believes that Crockett can beat Paxton, but she can't beat Cornyn? That's insane. Like, why would anybody come up with that analogy? Based on what? Like, why would anybody think
based on
this ghetto woman could beat Paxton?
I thought it was shocking.
Not you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why would somebody believe that this ghetto bitch could beat Paxton, but could not beat Cornyn? It sounds like somebody in the Cornyn camp may want us to believe that, and I'll just leave it at that.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'll leave it at that. Now, that being said, what do you make of the Comer thing yesterday with Hillary Clinton cleaning his clock?
Well, I haven't seen whether she cleaned his clock, didn't clean his clock. You have people saying that she lost it like a lunatic in there. You have Democrats saying, "Oh, she ran circles around him." So I don't know. Who do you ask? And then somebody leaked a picture of her. That was it Bohemian?
Bohemian, yeah.
Which, okay, I'm just kind of like.
They were asking her about UFOs. You think that's appropriate? Because that's the next thing to come up.
Do you have the transcripts? I haven't seen the transcripts.
I think both sides have admitted they discussed UFOs with her. So I have not. I'm not. But that's been admitted by both sides that they discussed UFOs. So look,
maybe they're saying, "What did you fly in off another planet?" I don't know.
Yeah, I would be a legitimate
question.
Yeah. I mean, apparently Luna and Groubert and Comer came together in the same car, making videos en route. And it seems like Homer had a chance to do something here. And he may have been outmatched with the Clintons versus Comer, which would not be surprising.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me see.
Put it this way: if there was anything that advanced Comer's narrative, we would have heard about it.
No, that might be. Well, I mean, again, I haven't seen all of it. I'm going to be looking it over tomorrow.
Okay.
Gavin's looking over her body language to see, what she was talking about. She did cut the press conference short afterwards. I don't know that it was necessarily super comfortable. I know that with Bill coming out today, it got leaked that supposedly he told Comer, and again, secondhand, that he didn't know of Trump having any relationship with Epstein whatsoever, as far as he knew. And that was the one thing that I saw coming out of that.
Well, Trump responded to that saying, I've always liked Bill. So, I mean, and he said they shouldn't have called him before this committee. Now, if that doesn't stab Comer in the back, I don't know what does.
Yeah, well, that
makes him look like a Mama Luke. I mean, when your own president of your own party just said you made a schmuck out of yourself in certain language on Truth Social, it's not a good look.
Well, and that's why people were saying that he's, catching the car.
Yeah.
It's like a dog and he's catching the car. So, I mean, I don't know how many times he was. Others were saying that he was putting himself at risk, and also Trump is saying it too because he's putting Trump at risk.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as things turn, they've already said it because a lot of the Democrats were like, "Yeah, go ahead and call him. That's cool." And the second things turn, we're calling Trump.
Yeah, which will be January 21st of next year when Comer's gavel is taken away from him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Comer is Comer. I've never been super impressed. I didn't even know if he was in charge or Luna was in charge in half of the things that were going on.
It's the three of them.
She was up marching around.
Groubert, Luna, and him are in charge. The three of them, right?
Right, but it's supposed to be him.
No,
and I guess he delegates it to them or
I
whatever.
know. His days are numbered.
It's not super strong, but we'll see what is going to happen with that, and we'll see. All right, you sent me this story. I have not had a chance to look at it. What is going on here? The
just a typical woman who stole an ambulance, got gasoline, gallons and gallons of gasoline canisters, and drove it headlong into the building housing DHS. That's all in Red, Idaho. Not an unusual story. It's the same 40-something-year-old white woman, batshit crazy, going and taking a terrorist, massive, loaded ambulance filled with gasoline as a gigantic bomb and driving it into that government building right there.
Right.
That's all. Other than that, it's just another day at the office, I guess, for DHS.
Yeah.
That's all. I just didn't want to ignore it. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you going to make out of it? I don't know, but I just didn't want to let it go by without, mentioning that story. How crazy nothing seems to stop them. There are, other than being shot in the head, which is what had to happen in the other case, nothing stops them other than being shot in the head. It's kind of like a zombie movie. It's kind of like some kind of Zombieland movie at this point.
Yeah. Keep in mind too, you would mention Red, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot of weird things going on in Idaho.
Well, that's a subject for another day, I think. But
I'm just saying it's not so red anymore, dude. And I mean, I shared with you the mayor of Terre Haute, or not Terre Haute, Coeur d'Alene, who's a psycho. So I don't know what's going on there. If I think enough Californians have moved in there and screwed up the place, because it has.
I don't know if
it
the
used to be
stories have
so red. It used to be so red that it was actually a headquarters for a lot of militias.
I don't know if the story is specifically about Idaho, but it's really about these crazy 40-something-year-old women across the country who keep doing these things.
Okay.
This time it happened to be Idaho, but I mean, it doesn't seem to matter where it is.
Okay. But Idaho could still have a problem that it could still point out.
Okay.
So anyway, okay, you sent me this one too. What is this patent? Secret mind control techniques using a TV.
Oh, that I don't know. That that was personal between me and you. Not personal, but I have to look at that myself. That wasn't a news story. I mean, that did come out this week, so I'm going to have to do a deep look into that. But it validates my MK Ultra 2.0 story, which is why I sent it to you. It's the first time I've seen a validation of my program idea that there was an MK Ultra 2.0 through television. And this story kind of backs me up.
Well, looking at the date, 2003.
Yeah,
that makes
that's
sense.
way past MK Ultra time, Eric. Right?
Oh no. Well, I mean, the person is he was working for NASA in the 70s and 80s, so he's been dead for several years already. So yeah, I mean the patent actually coming out is just one of many. Usually these patents come in clusters. So absolutely. Oh, well, here we go. It's in public domain. So you can work your own mind control, which I would argue is probably happening with streaming services and whatever else, because everything is a smart TV.
Yep.
So I think that it would not be.
I've never seen it in print before. It's the first time. I don't know if there's an article you could show. I think it was in the Daily Mail, if I remember correctly.
You know what?
You didn't really.
I have it.
Oh, there it is.
It didn't show up. I was looking at it.
Sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields. This is kind of what I was getting at. I didn't have this information for the past couple of years, but I've been saying that I've been calling it MK Ultra 2.0 involving television. And this kind of validates my harebrained scheme that I was trying to explain. Somehow they were using television on these people. And this apparently has some patent on how to do it here, Eric.
There is, and I mean, this is just one variant of it.
Yeah.
I mean, subliminals have been out.
Yeah.
Forever. Yeah. I mean, they've gone back and forth, and the people are saying you should never connect your smart TV to the internet. I agree if you have that option. Unfortunately, they've gotten to the point now where a lot of devices won't even turn on or will not operate unless they're connected to the internet, which is extremely irritating and obviously not consumer friendly. So good luck on some of that. Now, okay, I figure on the same paranoid note, because it's this is a fun story, a little bit of paranoia. We need to get more paranoia, which just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. Old favorite, Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, what was this about here? Are they back in business or something?
Well, they never left. I mean, one of the funny things is that John Ronson and Alex Jones went to Bohemian Grove all the way back in like 2000 to 2003 timeframe, maybe late night, a while ago, that they, went in there and stuck around. But I guess somebody has leaked a list of members, and I wanted to see if there's a solid list. They're, rattling off some names here. Some members of an elite super secretive men's club. They include Conan O'Brien,
that's
Michael Bloomberg, Eric Schmidt. Now, Conan O'Brien's kind of surprising. Bloomberg, Schmidt, no. I mean, the former CEO of Google, of course, that makes perfect sense. There's over 2,000 members in 2023. And they're divided into camps. Bohemian Grove's almost like the new Masons in a sense, but more secretive. You got Paul Pelosi in the mix. Jimmy Buffett. Charles Koch. Okay, well, I mean, Koch brothers. That makes sense. One of them. Who else do we have? Okay, that's Bloomberg. Okay, Clarence Thomas. You've got Henry
Where is this
Kissinger.
photo from? Is this one of the older photos?
This is that
This looks
might
like
have been-
Alex Jones era photo.
I'm wondering if it is some of Alex Jones's footage because they burned that owl in effigy or whatever. Like I said, ever since he did that, it really, I don't think has the same power. Here we go. Paul Pelosi, Edwin Meese, Bobby Inman, Carlos Bay, Ninth Circuit Judge James Baker, Edwin Fielner. I'm not sure of some of the names.
Well,
You
he's
might know
a
these.
Heritage Foundation guy.
He is, but it doesn't, Koch, obviously, Riley Bechtel.
These are deep state industrial, politico tech people, and they're not household names for a reason.
Yeah.
These guys are literally behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a weird mix, but then some of it I kind of wonder, especially with Alex Jones and everything else, if it's almost like the Burning Man before Burning Man. It's like half of it is probably a social club, half of it is conspiracy, and I don't know at which point does it lean over into, oh, I'm going to hang out with rich people, let our hair down, and do what the hell we want.
They may have brought up Conan. They may have brought up Conan to do a stand-up set for $500,000 for their Christmas meetup.
It could be.
I mean, they have entertainment there. I mean, they have Jimmy Buffett. I'm sure they're not asking Jimmy Buffett about his corporate ideas.
Well, not anymore.
No, but I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
These entertainment people may be entertaining these people.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. So, all right. While we're on lists, let's go ahead and look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We have.
Oh, I did this for you. I thought you'd get a kick out of it.
Well, I'm sitting here going, okay, Jeff Buckley, maybe. The thing is that
none of these people are rock and roll.
I mean, Jeff Buckley. Well, Phil Collins can
Except for
eke
Phil
in there. I'll give it Phil. I'll give it to Phil. But Jeff Buckley. I mean, Hallelujah is probably the greatest rendition of that song ever. But one song puts you in the Hall of Fame in a band, legacy and all that. And I mean, he died, and it was a loss. But is he Hall of Fame? I don't know. In Excess is here. That's good. Iron Maiden, that's fine.
Yeah, many of these have been nominated before. This is not their first trip to the rodeo. Joy Division's been nominated multiple times. So that doesn't mean they're getting in again. They didn't get in the last time.
And I agree. You did mention before that is a weird question. Joy Division, New Order.
Yeah, why is this one band? I don't understand.
But you don't. But why not then? Wouldn't it be Billy Idol, Gen X?
Or, you could say Genesis and Phil Collins and call it a day.
Yeah, I mean,
is he in other bands? Is Phil Collins in the Jefferson Starship?
Well, no.
I mean, I know he's a solo performer.
Which is fair. He could do both. I mean, the guy is big enough. But yeah, it is. It's so odd. But a lot of these, Oasis is probably that's fine. But boy, it's like you're having to choose. What is it? 50% is viable, and the others is just whoever they throw in.
You got me.
New Edition.
What does this have to do with rock and roll?
Yeah.
I think that should be in their bylaws, like the first question in their constitution. What is this fill in the blank have to do with rock and roll? Lauryn Hill, Melissa Etheridge. I mean, why do they keep screwing? Not that I'm a fan of Iron Maiden, but why do they keep? Right. I mean, for the love of God, I think Iron Maiden should go in before Shakira, and nobody loves Shakira more than me.
And Sade,
they love Sade too. But it's not rock.
No, but
Luther Vandross probably couldn't fit in the building.
Dustin, it doesn't matter. He only cares about one thing.
Oasis. Oh, that's his thing.
Yes,
he's a one-note guy. But I mean, I don't think of the great rock albums of Jeff Buckley, for Christ's sakes. I mean,
well, that's what I was talking about. Is that I think Jeff Buckley, especially Hallelujah, is just one of the best songs ever.
Well, I think Leonard Cohen was the originator of.
No, Leonard Cohen wrote it.
Okay.
And then John Cale covered it. And then Jeff
Okay.
Buckley heard John Cale's cover, and he covered the cover. So yeah, it's a
All right. Whatever.
It's a weird
I
one.
think of
But
Hallelujah. I think of Leonard Cohen, though, right?
well, I think of Buckley in terms of just
Really?
the biggest version of the song was Jeff Buckley.
Oh, I don't know anything
you know.
about that. I don't know anything about that.
All right. Well, yeah, there's a whole crazy history.
Again, I
with
don't
that.
know anything about Jeff Buckley's career, but I know a little bit about Leonard Cohen's career.
Yeah. Well, Leonard Cohen's probably
Is he in the
already
Hall of
there.
Fame? Is Leonard Cohen in there?
I don't know if he is. I wouldn't mind if he was. I mean, he's a legend, obviously. But then again, even he's
Is Neil Diamond in there? Is he a rocker?
I don't know. Well, yeah, Leonard Cohen is kind of like Gordon Lightfoot to me. You know, Canadian, almost folky, but not quite. I don't know. I mean, but I don't have the big issues with them like I do Luther Vandross. What? Wu-Tang Clan? What? I agree.
Okay. Well, I just thought I'd give you those two.
Yeah, it's just very confusing.
Yeah.
Very confusing. So, all right. Well, one person who probably won't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but he might be seeing the Hall of Justice is David.
David for David. I call him David for David. I don't know what the for is. Somebody said it's a letter A. I don't know, but apparently his day is coming. The grand jury is about to hand down an indictment here in Los Angeles County for the murder of this underage girl that was found in the trunk of his car in front of his house. I met a guy the other day who works for Hollywood Towing, and he was there when they opened the trunk of that Tesla in the Hollywood Towing yard here in town. And he said it smelled for days and days and days. Finally, they said, let's see what the car had been there for, a couple of months, the Tesla. And the smell was, getting to be overwhelming. And he and these other guys who were the tow truck operators went over and opened the trunk. And there was the decomposed body of the underage girl victim, that it was kind of like, not even a body anymore, kind of like Johnny Roselli and the drum in the Florida Bay. It was melted, So you can't really see a formation of a body anymore.
Yeah, they just start to go with the skeleton.
There was no air. It's a hot summer and it'd been in there. However, he's going to have some splaining to do. He was backed by Universal Music. He's going to be lawyered up the kazoo. This guy was supposed to be the next big thing, and as they said in Raging Bull, he ain't pretty no more.
The only shocker is that they let him finish his tour, going all around the world.
Well, I mean, they did raid his house 2 months ago. They did take his devices, and I have faith in Nate Hochman in this particular area of crime.
Well, straight crime. Yeah.
This is his specialty. So I give him, this is the new district attorney of Los Angeles for people who don't know who Nate Hochman is. I have to defer to him and getting his ducks in a row for a celebrity trial of this ilk.
Like the Menendez brothers. I mean, he was pretty. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that wasn't his. He wasn't here. He just went to keep them in jail and was successful in doing that. But nevertheless, this would be something where he would have to start from ground zero and build a case leading to the death penalty.
Right. But what I'm trying to say is that he proved in that case, though, he seems to be less susceptible to popular culture pushing him. Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously Netflix, everybody else, they were lining up the TV series for them to go and all of that. And he's like, oh, hell no, they're not getting out. So he doesn't, he seems, if it's a straight out crime, not a political campaign or whatever, but just crime. Did you do it? Did you kill him? He seems to be pretty good on that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. This will be a big test case because he's not a household name by any stretch of imagination, but he is has a lot of powerful people in back of him.
All right. Well, I mean, he's closer to like a Gil Garcetti, I think, than the guy he replaced.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's true. That is true.
I'm just trying to be fair.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. That's definitely true.
All right. Well, coming in hot and generous here is Beavis Wallace, $100. Thank you very, very much. You two are the best commentators of U.S. politics and entertainment, period. Freeform Friday question. Rock and roll has been dead for at least 2 decades. Prove me wrong, or am I just an old timer?
No, you're
It's on
absolutely
life
correct.
support.
The only reason we're commenting on it is just for fun. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't really exist on any kind of level. It's tied into the again, just to get into the weeds a little bit. The only people that get in are people who still have recording deals with the industry. These people that are not getting in is because they have no economic connection any longer to the industry. The whole thing is designed for someone who's going to go out on tour, like a Melissa Etheridge may have a new record on a tour. I'm just picking her out of the group that I saw there, but it could be Shakira, it could be any of them.
Could be Taylor Swift before you know it.
No, right. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that the people that get in and the people that are active on these lists are people who have people in the recording industry and what's left of it and the touring industry. These other people who are older acts don't have anyone to do their bidding for them. And hence nobody votes for them because the thing is fucking rigged anyway.
Well, I mean,
who's going to be the benefactor for Kansas? Who is who's working at a label going, dude, I got to get Kansas back together so we can go on tour. Let's get them into the Hall of Fame so we could boost their image. I'm exaggerating for effect, but the answer is nobody.
Well, I think it's just going to my theory, which is almost all awards now are bullshit.
Well, I mean, this is, again, I'm trying to get into a little bit in the weeds of the bullshit because it's not completely bullshit. The people getting in are people who are still actively making money for people in suits.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying it just falls to me in the same line as the Academy Awards, where if it's not woke enough or it doesn't have these parameters, they don't get an award. All the book awards, same principle. This is a financial consideration. Am I going to make money off of it? It has nothing to do with the actual content itself. And that's where I'm saying it's bullshit.
Right, but I'm saying just to delineate, the Academy Awards is not a lifetime achievement, a thing like this is. Academy Awards is also monetarily driven of promoting a film this particular year to give it a boost at the box office. There is a financial connection. It's just a different financial connection.
Okay. And I'm saying they're bullshit. So I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
Let me see here. We've got this story here. I didn't get a chance. What did this mother do?
Well, she looked at the cost of food in the airport, which was 600% more expensive, as you're well aware, Eric, in the airport. So her and her husband ordered Domino's to be delivered to the terminal for like $8 and sat there with Domino's pizza and all of the side trimmings while the people around them were spending $600 to get similar food in the terminal itself, which I thought was sheer genius. And here they are taking some of it on the plane to actually eat it on the plane. The Uber guy delivered it, or the Grubhub guy or Pizza Hut delivered it right to Terminal 3.
That's funny. Well,
right. So that was the fun part of the story.
Well, I love that. What I would love too is if there was a Domino's in the airport, which, because a lot of
some of them have it.
Yeah. And you just go, because it's literally the airport. It would probably cost that, monumental amount of money. And you just call over to the ones a mile down the road. And what the hell is that?
It's called a race car.
Oh, that's right. You've got your Friday night races by your house.
Armenian teen races start early on Fridays.
That has got to be unbearably loud to you, right?
Kidding.
There.
It's just one car that went by. I'm kidding. But I just like this story because they outsmarted the airport. I just thought that was fun.
That is funny. Speaking of stories, I literally just saw this. But it does tie in tangentially with politics. You remember, obviously we know about Stephen Miller, right?
Which one? The Stephen Miller band or the Stephen Miller Trump advisor?
Trump advisor.
Okay.
At the White House. You know where he got his initial fame?
His fame? No,
yeah, like
I don't.
Where he put him on the map. He was
I
the
don't know.
lawyer in the Duke Lacrosse case.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Right.
All right. Well, coming full circle, because Duke Lacrosse is fascinating how they busted her. She was lying. The actual DA was sentenced and went to prison. I mean, we're talking
Crazy case.
crazy case. Why I'm bringing that up is she's out. Today, it appears she is now free after killing her boyfriend.
She did a couple of years, right?
Probably did a few.
Yeah, scroll
Let's see.
down. I think she did some time.
She
She did
served,
14 out of 16 or something, or
yeah. Well, it was
All right.
a 14 to 18. She actually
Yeah,
did
she-
almost all of them.
I mean, you got to let him out eventually. I mean,
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's kind of interesting
Yeah.
where everybody is now. She's been sitting there in prison. Stephen Miller is now the top advisor to the president. It's kind of weird how this story comes around.
I'll tell you another weird prison story. Elizabeth Holmes filed a complaint. This is the blood bank confidence woman. She filed a complaint that the prison allowed the inmates to watch the BET Awards, but not the State of the Union address.
Okay. That's a fair complaint.
I thought so. Federal Bureau of Prisons, Eric.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean,
Tonight's
I'm not
the
a fan
NAACP
of Elizabeth
Awards.
Holmes, but she could be right.
Fan and no fan. I mean, the fact that the prisons won't allow the State of the Union address to be seen, but they have to broadcast BET Awards. That's a little crazy.
It's completely bonkers because I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
think it was the reverse. I mean, if the
That's- of
reverse is happening, I'm like, yeah, get over it. You know, it's
Right.
like
No, but it's
I
not
want
that
the
she wanted
prisoners to
see.
watch C-SPAN all damn day. In my opinion, you know, in my
Right.
world,
They were tortured if they had to watch the State of the Union. Good. Let them be tortured.
I agree. I agree. So that is kind of bonkers. All right. Let me see the Epstein files. We can't be remiss in not talking about them. Well,
What do you
apparently now Bill Gates,
Oh,
his narrative is shifting, and
Okay.
you know, before it was like, oh, now he has admitted that he did have an affair or two affairs with Russian women. So moving the goalposts, more and more is going to come out with him. Obviously, he's dirty as can be, but I wanted to point out, you know, same way I pointed out when they released the names of the four people who were just in the lineup and they had nothing to do with anything. This story came out, and it's another guy.
who's this guy?
This is Stephen Hawking. You might have heard of him.
What did he do?
All right. Well,
Isn't he paralyzed?
Oh, yeah. He very famously has ALS. But there's this picture. This was in the Epstein files, right? And they made a big hay out of that.
Wow.
That he was in the Epstein files with this picture, a couple bikinis. That kind of looks bad, right? There's fruit drinks. They look like they might be on an island somewhere, having a nice beverage, having a good time with Stephen Hawking. That is the New York Post. They put that out. They shared all of that. It was a story. I actually was going to be covering that with Nate on Thursday. I even made a thumbnail because you've got that image and everything else. That was going to be one of the big stories we covered. But fortunately, I kept looking a little bit further. And, well, here is the original photo. The woman on the left is his assistant.
Oh,
I believe the
man.
woman on the right actually works for the hotel.
Yikes.
There's an icon on the bottom right corner you'll see with a little building there.
Yeah.
That is the publication. What this picture is the hotel was bragging about
Oh, my
the fact they
Lord.
had services for the disabled.
Oh,
So
dear
the
God.
principle of this was, look at this disabled guy
Oh,
having
my
a wonderful
Lord.
time at our hotel with our hospitality. So
Michael Tracy's right. I mean, this is going to go down in history as Salem witch trials, McCarthy era, same sort of madness. I think history will record it as such. It's just
it could be.
crazy. This is so crazy.
It could be. I wanted to share that because, obviously these stories, they come out like that. And I think that's really bad. I mean, the guy is dead. Obviously you can't prosecute him, but boy, you can sure drag a name through the mud.
The same with
And-
Gates. I mean, he had sex with 2 Russians. What do I give a shit what Gates did with 2 Russian girls? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean, his wife cares, but whatever.
That's
I
her
understand.
problem. That's her problem. I'm sure she got a nice settlement, Eric.
I'm sure she's not broke.
Yeah.
But anyway. And Gates definitely did have a very extensive, long relationship with the guy. But now
Okay.
this story, I thought it was interesting. I did not realize that. I know that Kentucky has been having a lot of problems with bourbon and things like that.
Mhm.
Well, it turns out this is more widespread. And another California wine giant is shutting down sites. Chaos is flowing across Napa Valley. And this appears to be a chronic situation. And it's because alcohol consumption is down
No.
by a lot
What?
in the country.
Maybe people can't afford it.
I have another theory. I could be wrong. My thought is that it's edibles and weed.
Oh, they switched over to edibles and weed. You know, that could be.
I mean, if you look at it, because they've been pinging on, against alcohol, but here we go. The number of American adults who say they consume alcohol has fallen to 54%. That's low.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
That is the lowest I've ever heard of. And that's
Wow.
according to an August 2025 Gallup poll.
Pretty recent, yeah.
So it
It's
is
a big sample size too. Well,
absolutely.
I mean, it's generational, so maybe it could be a combination of health and finance.
I think so. And I mean, but they've also, there's a perception going where the majority of Americans think that any alcohol is bad for your health. And the numbers skew very heavy on the
Kid
young
side?
crowd, the Gen X, or not Gen, sorry,
Gen Z.
Gen Z, Gen Alpha range are saying, any amount of alcohol, like 1 drink a day, 2 drinks a day, is unhealthy, period. And that started to slip. So even the older generations like X and stuff are getting closer to parity, and they're starting to slip in that category, versus it used to be almost a prescription to have 2 drinks a day. It was actually probably okay. It's probably pretty good for you. And that is changing. And my theory is that a lot of it is probably switching over to weed because that's being celebrated. I mean, and it is being encouraged and everything else. Let me see. I got another story here. I'm curious what your thoughts are in this. And it's about Meta and their smart glasses. I just talked about them in the courtroom.
You and I talked about it, I think.
In the courtroom. This is another story.
Oh, okay.
And they have a new upgrade that they plan to roll out. And I just wonder what you think. They're putting in facial recognition.
I know, but whose face are you recognizing? Somebody who's a subscriber or
anybody who's in front of you? So
no, but I'm
have the
saying
glasses, and it's recognizing the people.
But where is my face registered, for instance?
Well, that's the question. Like, oh, well, obviously, you're on YouTube, dude.
Right.
You're screwed. I mean, if I sit there and walk up in front of you and I was to run it through an algorithm, any of the AI now, I'm sure, would pick out your face from all of our appearances.
Right, but what is the glasses?
If you're on X,
what is the glasses picking up of a regular person?
Well, there's a camera there. As I'm walking around, I'm saying as I'm walking around, it is literally tracking everything I'm looking at. I could say, hey, what's that sign? It'll read the sign. It might be in Spanish. It'll translate it to English.
Wow. Okay.
They're adding facial recognition into this. This is
kind of had 100% error rate when they tried this initially. I don't know if they made it better now. Is that like a better version or something?
Oh, well, they've gotten a lot better. And the problem is that, keep in mind, this is Meta. So Meta has all of Facebook. So and Instagram, even more so. And everybody keep in mind that it's not just saying, oh, well, I don't post my pictures on Facebook. Okay. But did you go to a family gathering? Was there a picture taken of you when you're, visiting with your family at a reunion? Are you in a group picture? You're on Facebook, very possibly, or you're on Instagram, very possibly. And this is tracking all of this data. And a lot of people are concerned, about like the Ring networks and things like that, where there's software going around to track every Ring camera through neighborhoods. In California, they offer, I think it was California, they gave free Ring doorbells. And then, of course, that would wire them into the police. Nest thermometers. Again, I think they had a program in California where you could get a discount on your power bill with your free Nest, and they would shut down your power. You know what? It's just you're running the AC too much at your house. So it is kind of a concern, but I'm just curious. Do you care? You're not worried about it?
I don't care.
Or you're just too late?
I don't know enough about it to talk intelligently.
Okay. I just want to get your opinion. Everybody else, comment below. Let us know what you think. I guess I am curious. I don't know if there's anything that can be done about it, but it is kind of it's a little frightening where we are. The surveillance state. Now, I don't know if you saw after the big hockey win on Sunday that it was kind of a touching moment that the players went out into the audience and they grabbed the two children of Johnny
I didn't see him.
Gaudreau.
Yeah.
I think his name's Johnny Gaudreau, but he and his brother were killed in an accident with a drunk driver. He was on the team. He was he was killed by the drunk driver, etc. And so when they were posing on the ice with a team picture, they grabbed the kids and his jersey, and it was a very touching moment, bringing the kids out there holding up the jersey so that his children were in the picture. Well, literally the same week, a little bit later, the driver who hit him is trying to get the charges against him dismissed, and the grand jury testimony or the grand jury verdict flipped as well, which may happen because apparently the test they did on him for the blood alcohol content was on plasma alone and not his whole blood. And the significance of this is that his blood alcohol level was 0.87 or 0.87, which is legally intoxicated, but it's not super high. It's one of those areas. But if you actually test according to the full blood content, it would be down to 0.075, which is under the 0.08 level. So
maybe he wasn't drunk.
It's possible that he was not drunk, and this is going to throw the entire case upside down. They would have to bring it forward because the grand jury said not only DUI but reckless endangerment. Like there's a stack of charges. But if the alcohol level was not at that level, then it's interesting situation. And this is a guy, though, he allegedly told the officers that he had 5 or 6 drinks. Now that's a weird.
It could have been over 10 hours though.
It might have been. It would kind of have to be because if they
drink every 2 hours,
if they were in a narrow enough window, but if he told them that, I guess my worry is that he told them that. Is he on body camera saying that, or is this something that's being relayed? What it is, I don't know, but that is kind of a scary wrinkle. Another weird story. Do you remember Squatty Potty?
I do not. What is that? A toy or something? Or
no, it was a very famous product that was put forth on Shark Tank. It's maybe the most profitable or up in the most profitable products they ever had. It is literally a plastic stand that people will put their
Oh, weird. I don't know
feet
anything
up
about
on
it.
when they're going to the bathroom to help their bowel movements.
Oh, weird.
And this guy right here,
Is that
though,
a real product that people buy now?
it's a very real product. Yes, it
Okay.
is a huge selling product. Again, the biggest money maker they
What are you
ever
buying?
had.
The white part on the bottom?
Yeah, what's under his feet. It just
Okay.
is. It's technically you could stack books up and get the same basic effect.
Right, right. Gotcha.
Good name, good marketing, super popular product. Well, he has been arrested for buying CSAM material.
Who, this guy who made this thing?
Yes, this guy right here that you're looking at in the picture
Okay.
has been allegedly
You're right.
buying content about children since 2021. An undercover FBI agent was tied into a chat room with people who are doing it. They've got PayPal transactions that they're claiming.
Okay. Good work for the FBI then. Good job.
Yeah. Anyway,
Good job.
it's been going on for a while. He was arrested for buying and receiving a trove of images between March 2021 and November 2025. So he was indicted on February 10th. What's interesting is he was indicted on February 10th, but this story came out 2 days ago.
Oh, well, that's fairly close. I mean, you know.
I mean, it is. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I'm surprised it didn't come out earlier. But anyway, it's an
good
interesting
job,
story.
undercover FBI.
Yeah. I mean, well, and in fairness, everybody's beating up Kash Patel. I get it. A lot of people don't like Kash Patel, but I will say that even if you watch Kash Patel's interview with Joe Rogan, he kept saying 5,000 times, I think, child predators and fentanyl, and that was like all he wanted to talk about was child predators, fentanyl, and his focus. And even when he was in front of Congress getting confirmed, he was saying, child predators, fentanyl, drugs. So this would kind of fall in line with what he was promising. And it is possible, I don't know for sure, that there are, allegedly there's a ton of arrests and things, and we're just not seeing all of them because they're just people we don't know about. And if so, I'm glad. I want fewer predators out there. So we'll see what is. But now let's jump to super chats. We have Anthony from Australia. You might have an idea what he's saying. I don't know. Any guesses?
I don't know, but it's probably $2 Australian money.
It is.
What are you saying?
His $2, not 2 cents.
$2 Australian money.
Trump's fault. Just saying. Thank you, Anthony. Pamela saying happy Friday to us. Thank you, Pamela. Always happy to hear from you. Christine Barbick. What in the hell? Sorry, I'm having trouble seeing this. The Attorney General of California stated this morning this was not a done deal, and he was going to look into it, indicating he might stop it. That's
doesn't have the power to do it. Doesn't have the power to do it. My mother could stop it too, but she's dead.
Yeah, and I don't know how he.
No, I know.
Are they both California companies? They might be. I don't know, but
yeah.
Unless there's something.
He's just going to decide to stop it because he's a sore loser.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to stop it if it went the other way, but he's got to stop it now.
Has Gavin Newsom commented, or does that say?
No, he knows. He's not stupid. He knows enough to shut up once in a while.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Tim McLaughlin has been a member for 3 years now, 36 months.
Insane. That's insane with a muscle car.
I appreciate that. And it looks like he also bought a super chat with comment. Let me see. We must have names and then actually
take
against them.
That's why I mean these stories are becoming ridiculously stupid. Either tell me and show me a picture, give me a perp walk, or shut the fuck up already. It's enough already. Give me a name, give me some handcuffs. This It's just getting silly.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Even like this guy here, who's boom, boom, boom. There's a trial going, and
Yeah.
it's a real thing. Carl Burkhalter with $20. Thank you. Let me see. The Patriot Act was an overreaction and definitely overreach. Homeland Security was largely redundant, but an entrenched bureau now. Gradually, it needs to be dismantled.
Well, that's never going to happen.
Yeah, you're not going to get a big argument from me on that.
I doubt that's going to happen, but I think we have some bigger fish to fry than worrying about that right now. We're in the middle of a Marxist revolution trying to take over the country. So the idea that I want to dismantle the Department of Homeland Security in the mit and drid of a Marxist takeover of the country is preposterous to me.
All right. K-Dog 4703. When the right's in power, they walk on eggshells. When the left in power does whatever they want and says F you to opponents.
Yeah, no, he basically summed it up in 2 sentences. Absolutely true.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We've got a John S. of TW, and it looks like 20 pounds. So it's like even more money. Greetings from your fans in Tunbridge Wells in England.
Well, they got enough problems over there, so
they do.
Godspeed to you. Godspeed, my friend.
I'm not going to beat them up. That's for sure.
No, they've got so many problems. It's ridiculous.
Well, my plan is like I said, I want an exchange program. So for every Rosie O'Donnell we can get to go over there, we'll take Gavin Stone to come over here. Or him, whoever. It's like, why not?
I think
we could give asylum to smart people from England.
I think everything is payback for Brexit over there.
Well, Brexit, they tried. I mean,
no, but I mean, this is all payback after Brexit was successfully put into play. This is the payback from their deep state.
Yeah. Also, the Queen being dead has helped it unravel even more, too. I mean, I think she may have had more effect than people realize. John Springer. Question for both of you. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being highly unlikely, during March, Trump uses 1, military in Iran, 2, Tucker Carlson invited to speak to Knesset, and 3, arrests will be made in Guthrie case. So we have to do each one.
Well, the first one is going to happen tonight. So when you say military, I don't know if you mean troops, because I think he's going to use cruise missiles.
That would be military. Yeah.
Right. Okay. But I just to be clear, right, I think that's going to happen tonight.
Do you think he is, or is Israel going to do it? Because I could see
I think
Israel
we're going
doing
to
the attack.
We've got the ships right there. We will launch cruise missiles off of those ships. They didn't just go there to go fishing. I mean, they're there for a reason. And I think that, the Iranians are now desperately trying to say we're negotiating in good faith. And one of the great barometers today of this happening tonight was there is an embassy in Tehran that most people don't know about. And it's the UK embassy. And they are the last of the Western powers to actually have an embassy in the middle of Tehran. And they called for all their people to evacuate this morning. So I believe that was the canary in the coal mine, that the missiles of October will be firing in the end of February.
All right. Can I answer the second one first? Tucker invited to speak to Knesset. He won't leave the airport. So I'm going to say no. If the guy can't leave the airport, then, I mean, he could be invited. Let's put this. He could be invited, but he ain't going, as far as I know. So
I doubt he's going to be invited, but so I'm going to put that on the scale of 1.
And then arrests made in the Guthrie case. I don't
that could
know
be a
if
5.
The
That could be a
sheriff
6. That could be a
it
5 or
depends
6.
on if the sheriff's doing it or the FBI takes over.
Look, anything could happen. I don't know how you keep this story alive. That's another question, media-wise.
They're trying.
Or why you have to keep it alive, for that matter. You really don't need the media to be involved in this thing. If you are a police force like the FBI, you don't really need any more media attention. Either you get these guys or you don't.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, the media, if you say, hey, we're on a lookout for fill in the blank, please, share the
Yeah.
message and whatever.
I mean, isn't that what the Most Wanted campaign is, basically?
Mhm.
There's a reward. There is a thing that's media that's put out by the FBI, and I think the regular media is going to move on, though,
Could be.
or has moved on.
Could be. All right. Let me see here. Boston Sale Guy. Didn't Nancy Griffin do the Squatty Potty commercials on TV? I don't
know. Who is Nancy Griffin?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well,
And
that
see,
I've
Nancy
never
Guthrie
even
was a
seen this
joke.
thing. Excuse me?
I'm wondering if it was a joke. Like if we met Nancy Guthrie and it was a joke because we were just talking. It just came in. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. But I've never seen that device nor a commercial for it on my TV, so I'm not hip to this thing. I don't know who Nancy Griffin is. But Eric said they sold a ton of them, so somebody bought this thing.
Agree. Yes, they did, and
Okay.
It was huge. Very, very, very successful product, is the best way I can put it.
Okay.
Especially in podcasting. And I don't think you've listened to podcasting a whole lot, except for recent years. But the Squatty Potty came out.
It's like that's where they advertised it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A lot of it was advertising on podcasts like Adam Carolla show.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, right. I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, and he co-founded it in 2011, so it was like big 10 years ago, 12 years ago. So okay. Oh, somebody's saying Kathy Griffin. Oh, it could have. Kathy Griffin could have. I don't recall. I do know that there is a very unfortunate commercial that they have that went out that people were sharing, that at the end of the commercial, because the shtick in the commercial is that they have a unicorn, and the unicorn, it's like a kind of a toy unicorn, was pooping ice cream, rainbow colored ice cream.
Okay.
And at the end of the commercial, they had little kids eating the
stop. Would you stop it? Stop.
I kid you not.
Stop. It's too much.
It definitely does not. It doesn't age well. It doesn't age well. So anyway,
Crispin Glover in a little bit of trouble, by the way. Just sued of having a sex slave from England.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, "It's the newest Me Too, or just suit?"
Well, it's old, and she was his roommate, and then she was a Muslim, and she wanted to go to a mosque, and she didn't have the keys, and she left all her stuff in England because she moved in with him. This is an unusual kind of sex slave.
It is, and the problem I have with the whole thing is he's kind of an easy target just because he's sort of weird.
Well, he may be weird in real life.
Well, I mean, he might be weird in real life. I don't know, but I'm just saying that he's definitely weird in his appearances. That I think many people would agree that he's kind of a strange duck.
Yeah.
There.
Well, I don't know if he owns a sex slave, but we'll see.
No, he might be perfectly innocent. It's just so weird. That's what I'm saying. And
she doesn't think so. This case is going forward, so we'll see what happens.
Well, it's a lawsuit, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a civil complaint, it's a lawsuit. He's not going to prison.
Right.
So I don't know. She's saying he groomed him.
Which means he paid for airline tickets.
Right. When she took the bait and uprooted herself and moved to Los Angeles.
She had a chance to move in with a Hollywood movie star, took the bait.
Yeah.
The rest was downhill after that. After he gave her a credit card, then it was really downhill. And she thought about it for 10 years, and now all of a sudden it's an issue for her.
Yeah. I agree. Well, we are going to continue our discussion, I think, over on Locals, where there's people who are queued up to help us solve the world and see what is going on here. Don't see anything going at the rant. And see everybody there. Again, you
Oh,
can
okay.
become a
Right.
member at Locals for free and take a look around. And if you want to support us, it's always helpful. But either way, we will see you over there.
Okay.